Well, it's been an interesting week. As I've done before, I've changed brokerages, and this is pretty common in the real estate world. So you can see there, somewhere up there, that's the new brokerage, Real, which a lot of my friends already worked at, and I'd been kind of spying on them for about 18 months, talking to Katie Day of Move Me to Texas for a long time, just trying to get a feel for what the culture was like. And I wanted the brokerage to get a little bit older before I really took a hard look at it. But the time was right, and the time that's right to move, at least for me, and usually for everybody, is if you have a team, it's when you have your least amount of team members and your least amount of transactions. And we've been averaging down on my team, which is now Streamline Properties. We dropped the on market part, it's just Streamline Properties. And we were at our lowest agent count because we did reduction on purpose so we could build back up. And then we were at our lowest transaction count because the market's been weird, and it's holidays. So that's the best time to move. So when you're making these decisions, if you have a team of 50 agents and you have 100 pending transactions, like that's not a good time to move. It's going to be impossible to get done. So where we were at, it seemed like the perfect time to move. And based on my research, Real is the only brokerage I was looking at other than potentially opening my own brokerage, which I decided was not what I wanted to do. So why did I move my real estate team to Real? And this isn't a recruiting video. I know there's a lot of that out there. This is an explanation video for me and for all brokerages. And I've given plenty of advice to people over the years to not go with the brokerage I was at because their goals differed from mine. My goals and what I want to do are uniquely aligned with what I think that Real is doing and where I'll fit in there and where I can be a big part of growth in New Jersey and the tri-state area and across the nation. That's really interesting to me at this stage of my career. But that might not be for everybody. This is still a modified cloud brokerage. There are offices, but you're not seeing your general big brick and mortar like some of the old school things. And that's the model that I enjoy because I like the freedom, but it isn't for everybody. Some people like to hang around the water cooler, shoot the junk and talk, and that's a different model. So if you ever do a call with me, you're going to get honest advice because not every brokerage works for every agent. And that has to be the truth. If anybody tells you any different, they're lying. And I've been through this cycle. In 10 years, I've been recruited by every brokerage out there. I've worked for other brokerages. And my interpretation of how the pitches go is when I get on a call and a brokerage is recruiting me, all they do is talk about the brokerage. They don't even really know anything about me. And we call it pulse recruiting. Oh yeah, you're good. I mean, they wanted me because I had a production, but half the time they would call on my personal production and not even realize I had a big team. And sometimes even at your own brokerage, as a brokerage grows, my previous brokerage, they're up to, I think, 90,000 agents. So I'm a speck of dust. And to me, with a team that did 80 million both this year and last year, I don't want to be just a speck of dust. And the interesting thing is, when I left, nobody even really called me, and that'll tell you a lot. That's 80 million back-to-back years in volume on a team, 150-ish transactions both years or more. And like, hey, no big deal. And it was a smooth transition. But the truth is, this is the first time I've ever left a brokerage for another brokerage and not been down on my prior brokerage. I had a good run at the last brokerage I was at. I'm just ready personally for a change and ready to bring my team into a different type of model at Real. So one thing that happens is when people switch brokerages, they talk about the brokerage a lot. A lot of these models do have a system where if you bring people in, that can help you, and they do have that at Real, and that's something that we're definitely interested in. But a lot of people call it recruiting or agent attraction, and we've kind of repurposed that to be called agent opportunity. It's an opportunity to have a discussion about a new brokerage. If you're not interested, no problem. Might be interested down the road. You might get some ideas from my experience working for 5 different brokerages or my history in real estate as an investor over 30 plus years. These are all reasons to have a discussion. So, if you ever come across a brokerage, whether it be Real or another brokerage and you're interested, you should have a talk, even if you're just mildly, putting your foot in the water to see what happens. you'll find out who's really there to help you, and just give you advice and give you information, becoming an information portal, for the brokerage and for the team or for whatever you're looking for, instead of a hard sell. I've never been good at the hard sell. I'm not good at that as an agent. I'm good at building relationships with people, making sure that they have all the information they need to proceed well in a transaction. And that's the same thing I do when I'm talking about real. I'm there to, give as much information about what the numbers look like, what the culture looks like, what my experience is in the time that I've been there, as I get to be there for a longer time, and then who I'm connected with there. But there's no guarantees on anything. You're not going to get a pitch from somebody at Real that says, "Hey, you're going to get X and Y if you come there." That's just not within the culture. You're going to go to a brokerage that suits what you're looking for, and you should look hard for that. And you don't always have to stay in the same place. I've learned that, and I think it's just something that you get adjusted to over time. If you just take a sports metaphor, as if you're into that, there's a lot of players, like we'll just take the NBA, which is my sport of choice. Sometimes a player, well, they're playing on the Washington Wizards. They're not the right fit. Doesn't look good for them. Get traded, or they move on to another team, and the next team, things explode. And sometimes it's just because they needed a change of scenery. They needed to switch the uniform on their back or the brokerage umbrella over their head, just to kind of give themselves an upgrade and a fresh start. And, that's exactly what I'm doing. I like the branding. I like the culture. I like the amount of friends that I already have there. And I like the forward thinking part of the company, which is we're always going to be innovating. And I don't feel like we're going to get stuck or behind. Back end services are great. But I come with a big team, so my team has back-end services. We basically run like a mini brokerage, and I used to say that a brokerage is just an umbrella to hang over my head. And this time, I'm much more excited about putting that umbrella on and working collaboratively with that umbrella, instead of just thinking it as something that covers, me from the rain. I want to be a part of the community there. That's why I went there. Want to help other agents there and other agents outside. My goal has always been to make real estate better as an agent. And if I can do that by just talking about the things that I've learned, whether it be transferring brokerages, working with buyers, sellers, investors, anything like that, and it helps one person, that works for me. I'm old enough to not have to really think much further than that. I like making profits, but I like helping people definitely more. And I think when I focus on that more, the profits are just an ancillary benefit of what I do. So that's why I moved my team to Real. If you want any information from me directly, you can just send an email to my team success manager at info@streamlined.properties. You can comment in here. You can find me on Instagram at Trust Green with an E at the end. Send me a DM there. You'll see a bunch of posts about me moving and just about real estate and real estate investing in general. So that's it. A lot of people do it. A lot of people make a kind of a big production about it. We're running a business, but I was already running a business. So I just took my existing business, which is my team, and I moved it to what I think is going to be a better fit for me. And I'm looking forward to the journey. So if you need any information, there's going to be some links below that you can get in touch with us. I hope you make all the right choices, but you'll never make all the right choices. So all you want to do is go out, get as much information as you can, make informed choices. If you make a bad choice at one point, it's not a big deal to just pivot and change that choice. I've done it a few times, and you're always looking for the best fit for the time. You may change your mind later, but hopefully they're all good opportunities to learn and grow. And for me, it's going to be a great opportunity to grow my team, Streamline Properties, at Real. See ya.